Winter Soldier. It's an honor. You're one of the best in the business.
My performance record as an assassin shouldn't make me anyone's role model.
Hey, I don't tell you not to idolize the red, white, and blue Boy Scout. Let me do me. Bucky, always feels good going into a fight with you.
Keep your cool, Frank. We're the good guys. You can't have my new...
Just hear me out. You're like a goddamn Lucky Charm. And I gotta repay that debt. Besides, just think about it. Where else could you even go? You're not gonna find a better deal out there.
Before we get started, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to introduce himself, basically tell everybody who you are and what you do, and also tell us your top 2 favorite Marvel superhero movies or games.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Eliah MountJoy. I'm the voice of the Winter Soldier in Marvel Rivals, and I'm a voice actor. I've also done some on-camera stuff. I do some stuff in the volume for motion capture, but most of what I do is voices. And let me see. My top 2 movies, Marvel superhero movies. Superhero or Marvel?
Marvel? Which?
Marvel. Well, Captain America and the Winter Soldier is a good start.
Okay.
That's one where I was like, okay, establishes Bucky as who he is, loved it. But I think Iron Man was the one where the first Iron Man, where I was like, damn, okay, superhero movies are here. Because I grew up reading comics and stuff like that. So, like I loved a lot of the Batman stuff, and I loved, I'm a hyper nerd, so I can get into it. But I think it was probably Iron Man where I was like, okay, like special effects are here, movie production is here, superheroes are here.
All right. I agree with you on that one. You actually took one of my choices with your Captain America Winter Soldier because I think that's by far one of the best hand-to-hand combat superhero movies we've ever had. And to me, honestly, it helped me personally, like Captain America more because the first movie I thought was it was boring. But to see that go from that to him literally jumping out of buildings and stuff on top of his shield and literally fighting Bucky. Bucky came in as a nice kind of like anti-villain, anti-hero type of character. So it was pretty cool to kind of see it. I thought that was a pretty decent movie. For the first Iron Man, I would like to say I think they just found the best actor to play Iron Man. I think Robert Downey Jr. was made to play that role because he literally embodies it. Because I will say when he left the Marvel franchise, I personally stopped watching it. I haven't really seen any of the movies post Iron Man's death. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you ask people, because some people say the movies haven't been as good or they've been too political and stuff like that. You probably hear all the different things, but I heard they're trying to go back into the, how they used to be, and that's why they brought them back, and that's why they bring them back as Doom, which I do think is kind of interesting because it's like, I wonder if they're going to keep them behind the mask, because I don't think you can have a character like Robert Downey Jr. and then tell us this is a different character when he was Iron Man for like the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see it.
I feel you on that. On all of it. RDJ is Iron Man, is Tony Stark, just like whatever Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones or Han Solo. It's like
you can't take them away from
it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Why don't we go ahead and let my co-host introduce himself and basically answer the same question?
Well, what up, Hayden? So my 2 are, I'm going to go game for number 1 is Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5. I preferred it to the first Spider-Man game. I'll be 100% honest. I didn't really vibe with the first one. I like Spider-Man 2 a lot more. I like the dynamic between Harry, MJ, and Peter, the Miles and his storyline, the whole Venom aspect. People say it was rushed. I'll be 100% honest. I think it was perfectly paced, at least to me. I think the only thing it would have been was one fight in the middle of it. I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't played it. I should have been a little bit longer outside of that. I do love the game a whole lot, and the whole Kraven experience was really neat too. And my movie is, I don't know if this will count as a superhero one, but it's Logan. I think that is probably my favorite Marvel-esque movie out of all of them. And I like the whole like Old Man Logan. I like those comics. It was really neat to see that kind of get made in its own way. His whole story dealing with his own weakness and age itself, trying to train a new generation of X-23, and all that was just so well done. It was so sad, especially come the end. It was just like a heartbreaking, heart-wrenching movie that I was just, oh, damn, this is fucking cinema. And it's one of my favorite movies to date.
I have to agree with you on that one. I will say for Wolverine that X-Men is Marvel, but that's an interesting one. I always found it so weird that they like literally broke a piece the Marvel franchise and gave different studios different projects of it, because it always to me makes it hard for you to be like, now they're going to try to put them all together, which they always should have been together. But yeah, the Old Man Logan movie was great. I think what also is a big component to that movie is also seeing kind of Patrick Stewart more in that older role, because he I can't even remember his character name for some. Oh, Professor X. Seeing him in that older role like that it was pretty cool, and their connection with Wolverine was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Old Man Logan? I mean, is it called Old Man Logan, or
it's just called Logan? The comics are like Old Man Logan, but the movie itself is just called Logan.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It might as well be called Old Man Logan. I mean, that's what he is. But I agree. Also, even the first iteration of X-Men, when you saw Wolverine hit, it was like, oh, dude,
man,
it's pretty cool to see that incarnation.
Mm-hmm. I think Hugh Jackman's the best Wolverine. Like, without a doubt, he'll be the best Wolverine ever be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Has there been any other really Wolverine?
They've messed around here and there, but like when it comes down to it, 20 years from now, whenever like, all right, it's Avengers 12, we need our new Wolverine. It won't be the same, even if they do the alternate timeline. It will not.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman is also another one of those people who kind of cemented that character. Kind of just like my other movie choice that I chose with Deadpool. I feel like you can't make those movies without Ryan Reynolds. He has literally embodied the character. I think his comedy makes the character come to life, and I just like the fact that they keep it comic book accurate to the violence and everything, and they don't sugarcoat it. And I like the fact that he fought for that, for all the versions that he tried to play the character and was getting this bullshit version of the character to the point where he's like, no, this is what I want to do. And he's low-key created another franchise within a franchise, low-key, which I think is pretty cool. I want to see how they incorporate him into the Marvel universe, because it's like, how do you put a R-rated superstar into these regular rated movies? Like, how do you incorporate everything he does and still put it in these movies and not have to raise up the rating? You know what I mean? That's going to be the interesting thing.
I think I remember seeing something a while back. It was a joke of how they had Stan Lee in every movie. It'd be Deadpool in the background because PG-13s are allowed the one fuck word, the one fuck in the movie, and that's just what he does. Is Deadpool in the background? What the fuck was that? And that's all he does in every single Marvel movie.
That would be cool, because I mean, since his death, you haven't really seen the whole little Stan Lee cameos anymore, and I think that'll be cool to see Deadpool kind of take that route, because he does have that ability to kind of go within universes and stuff like that. So that'd be cool.
It'd just be a gag, and that'd be perfectly Deadpool-esque. It's like, hey, there's Deadpool. Yeah, it makes sense. What's going on over here?
All right. But before we jump into our interview, I just want to ask you guys what you've recently been playing, listening to, or watching. You can go first, Eliah.
Well, I've obviously been playing Rivals. I've got kind of an obligation to start playing this a little bit, and although we have been playing a lot of Call of Duty, Warzone. Me and my brothers have been playing it. We kind of struck it back up in the pandemic, and we just need games that we can kind of play all together. We played a lot of Helldivers. Probably those two games, but now we've obviously switched over to Rivals. And I don't know, people are always asking me what kind of music Bucky listens to. So I've been listening to a lot of Tool. I feel like Tool has got Bucky's kind of vibe. There's a song in particular called Calling Voices.
Okay.
And it's great because it's like It's got both sides of Bucky. It's like really mysterious, chill, ambient tones.
This is more like rock music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be more like rock, metal, maybe. But it's also ambient. It's really hard to put Tool in a box.
Okay.
But it's like, but if you had to like lump them over on that side of the table, yeah, probably rock, metal, rock, you know. And that's not my usual go-to. You know, I do like rock. I like hip hop. I like classical. I don't really like, I guess, like country. I'm not a super country guy, but there are some country artists and songs and albums I love, but I'm never like putting on the country channel just to see what's out there, you know.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm watching this one. I'm going through the Marvel movies again. I'm just kind of I got a bunch of comic books from a lot of these cons that I've been going to, so I can catch up on.
That's funny that you bring it up. They bring up watching movies.
Oh,
that's dope. People just been bringing you comics.
No, I had to buy this.
Oh, okay.
but some of these, this is Doom. This is just one of the first Doom ones. Speaking of Doom, but I just, I've been trying to catch up on my lore. I don't know if it's got this glare on here, but it's about a bunch of Winter Soldier comics that I gotta catch up on.
I'm surprised. I'm like, a lot of times you don't really see that voice actors go through all this like work and really try to know who their characters is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I already loved Winter Soldier, and I was already so pumped to get him because he's.
Is there a version of Winter Soldier they're using? Because I know different comics might have different versions of the Winter Soldier or stuff like that. So is it following a certain timeline or something?
You mean for Marvel Rivals, the game? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, they've kind of created his own iteration. But now, because of the popularity of the game, and because this just happens to coincide with Thunderbolts that's coming out in whatever 2 days or 3 days, they've actually intertwined them now. So, at one point Bucky loses his arm when he's fighting Tony, because Tony figures out that Bucky killed his parents when he was under mind control, right? So he shoots his arm off. So Bucky's got to get a new arm on Wakanda from T'Challa, and like, so
that happened in the movies, yeah.
Okay, so that's why his arm is like black and gold, and they are now incorporating that into the game with this new skin. So they're kind of merging, which is cool. It's just really cool.
That is pretty dope. I know, like, for a lot of the Iron Man, like for the character, they started kind of recreating a lot of the comic books to kind of make the character start to look more like Robert Downey Jr. and stuff like that. So now when you look at the comics, you're like, he was made to play the role. You know what I mean? And also for like Nick Fury, because I mean, a lot of people don't even know he was a white guy. Like I didn't even know that at first until they literally changed him and to make Samuel L. Jackson be the character. Because I mean, why not? Like if you could get Samuel L. Jackson in your movie, like why not? Like I feel like.
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of which, that reminded me of something else. I think Marvel actually done a great job kind of galvanizing, because like Chris Hemsworth is a great Thor. And
I don't like what they're doing with his movies, but yeah, he's amazing Thor.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I totally know what you mean. I totally feel that. But who else?
Evans is Captain America. I think is going to be solidified.
Right. So like the big sorrow for me is that we don't get to see Chadwick Boseman carry on, because I mean he was perfect as T'Challa.
He really was
perfect. He had that royal essence about him, who could also kick a lot of ass.
I mean, you think he literally played that last movie sick? Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
He did phenomenal in that.
I know. You'd never know. You'd never know. Incredible.
That's how you really know a man loved his craft and knew his craft was literally changing the world, because he embodied every character he did, from James Brown to Jackie Robinson to T'Challa. So that's crazy. But you said you recently been rewatching the Marvel movies. I've been rewatching movies too, but it wasn't Marvel. It was literally the Harry Potter series. Man, I will say those movies, they do stand. Like, I feel like they keep up with today's kind of technology. The first movie, I was a little bit surprised. You can kind of see a little bit of the difference in how our animation is now versus the animation then. But I feel like a lot of that old school, how they did stuff, it stands up today, because, you know, they really did like the older process and stuff like that. So I think it still looks good. It's a lot of times people like they like the old thing versus the new thing and the new Fantastic Four. So I basically got to rewatch it. We watch all the Harry Potters. Only thing I will say personally in my thought process, and I don't know if you guys watch the Harry Potter movies, I feel like they use magic, but you don't see them use it a lot. Like I feel like for a world that's created by like magic and universe, you don't see them use it as much as you would think you would. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my headspace be getting anime and then regular movies and stuff like that all kind of intertwine, and I'm like, you would think they'd do a little bit more, but that's just what I'm thinking.
You mean there was more magic in the books?
No, I feel like they just don't really use a lot of magic. Like versus like have you ever watched like Sabrina, Teenage Witch? Oh, okay.
There's more drama. There's more people drama than magic's going on. It's like Grey's Anatomy. There's a lot more human drama than actual doctor stuff going on. So that's what it's like there. The Harry Potter movies don't utilize a lot of the magic through the entire of it. For being entirely based around magic, there's not a lot of magic that goes into this world of magic.
And it's just so weird to me until like you get to like the later movies. That's when you start seeing a little magic battles. But then I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like they should have been able to.
You want to see some more magic?
Me personally, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
Harry Potter for the magic. What do you mean?
That's what I would have thought. But you know what's so funny? I'm glad that you brought up the book thing, because a lot of people be like, well, if you read the books, it's so much different than the movies. But I always tell people, if you just watch the movies sometimes and don't watch the books, sometimes you like the movies. Because a lot of the people who read the books and then watch the movies never like them. Because a lot of people don't like the first Percy Jackson movie. And I think that's amazing. But a lot of people who read the book say it's horrible. Like, you know what? Y'all not making the book seem interesting. You know what I mean? Because I just can't imagine how that's better than the movie. But you know, everybody's different. But what about you, Hayden? What you been recently playing or doing?
Right now, I've been rewatching Dr. Stone. I just started the third season yesterday. I've been enjoying that. I watched the first season when it came out, and I haven't watched any of it since. It's been really fun going through it, watching all of it. It's hilarious to watch. Even if the science goes over your head, the faces they make, I don't know if, Eliah, if you've ever seen it, but they have a lot of the best funny facial animations in there. Like, it's like Demon Slayer level of like stupid faces that happens periodically that makes it all sorts of fun. And then game-wise, I have been heavy-handing Expedition 33, Claire Obscure's Expedition 33 for the past 2 days now. That game is just, it's so much fun. I probably put maybe 20 hours in already, and that's, a lot of time put in. It's so much fun. I say play it. If you like Dark Souls, I say play it. If you're okay with turn-based, I say play it.
I gotta check that out. I literally just had a little Smash Bros tournament just the other day and realized that I need to actually get back and learn to play the game again, because I'm not as good as I thought I was, because man, I was getting killed by everybody. But when we started playing that Wii bowling and tennis, that's when I had to let people know what I'm about, because I am almost undefeated in Wii bowling, man. I don't know why, because if I play regular bowling, I'm horrible.
Have you guys been watching any of The Last of Us?
I have, actually. I went and rewatched the first season, and I saw the first episode of season 2. I'm going to withhold judgment until later. I think big thing. I think Bella Ramsey did good in season 1. I don't think she's going to transition well in the season 2, and that's nothing against her acting skills. I just don't see the intimidating figure that Ellie was in 2 in Bella Ramsey I'm not saying anything rude about how she looks. I just don't think she'll be able to play the part and look it. It's like Caitlin Deaver.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see the second season at all, and I want to, but I haven't had a chance to dip in.
I've only watched a few episodes of the first season. I definitely need to get back and finish it up. I think when I started, it was just like it was just a few episodes out, and I like to binge things, and then once I forget, let a few episodes try to pile up, and then sometimes I forget about it. So I need to definitely go back and finish it off because this was a pretty good show. It was, to me, it was giving off like that almost Breaking Bad type of level, but I don't know if it kept that level up. I'm just saying, and when I was watching, I was like, this is pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't know if it kept that, so I don't want nobody to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But
only one way to find out. You gotta watch it.
I gotta definitely go back and finish that. But going ahead, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into our interview. For my first question, I want to ask you was, what were the two biggest reasons that made you want to pursue a career in voice acting?
Well, I'm an actor.
Okay.
I'm a storyteller, and it just so happens that I like the medium of just the voice. I've mentioned before, I've done some on camera, I've done some stage, some mocap work, which is kind of the blend of all of them. Really, it's all of them together. But it's even as a kid, I was emulating and mimicking sounds, and I just like the idea of having nothing to. You only have your voice to communicate the whole range of the human experience. You don't have a shrug or a wink and for some reason I locked into it. I got obsessed with it, and so I think that's why I kind of ultimately worked my way into voiceover as a genre or a modicum of a style of acting, and it's why I was able to kind of stay with it and not get frustrated by it, because it's weird. It's weird to get into a booth and have nothing except a microphone in your face and bring it all to life the best you can. And it's weird. Or, while you're doing it, people looking at you into the glass like you're, some zoo animal, or I don't know,
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
It's weird. It's weird. Like, it's even weirder than what we're doing now, because we're going back and forth. We can have a conversation. The other way, it's just, here's your lines. Go for it.
You say that a little bit louder. Yeah, they just give you more instructions and stuff like that. I can feel that.
Yeah, right. It's weird. So you kind of got to be a weird person to get into it and be like, oh, okay, I get what this is. I'll stick with this long enough to get proficient enough to start bringing some characters to life. And because I don't know that it is for everybody. Because of that. In fact, when I was getting into it, it was I took some people to lunch who were doing it full time, and I just asked, can I just ask you what your day's like? What's it like? And they explained it to me. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do that. Be alone for that long, hour after hour after hour, whether you're auditioning or you're working a gig or setting stuff up and working out technical issues. You're just going to spend a lot of time by yourself in a padded box like a crazy person. But you can't be crazy. I mean, you can't come off as crazy. You have to be really connected and genuine and authentic. And I don't know that that's necessarily for everybody, but it was for me.
Okay.
It's a fair way to look at it, honestly.
Were you nervous when you first started? Like, because
it's
like a whole new challenge, like a whole new thing just to jump into it type thing.
Definitely. I think I know some people that were much more natural much more able to be themselves and just kind of slip into the pool and start splashing around. I was real tight and real clammy, trying to get it just right, just so I got to get it right. It's like,
is that more the technical aspect of it and trying to be able to record when they need you? Because I heard that's a lot of times being able to record on the right beeps and stuff like that can be challenging and stuff like that.
No, I just meant from a performance standpoint.
Okay.
Like relax. Be yourself. Just be yourself. No, I was like in the I got to get it right mode. Like
so you get like performative anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still a kind of more of an extroverted person, and I like being up in front of people on stage, or I like that. I like the energy. I like the feeling. But it was a weird switch for me to get into this very quiet, very hushed, very personal, very intimate space. It's very strange. It's not a normal place to live, So it just made me tight because it was new. I felt like a fish out of water. But to your point, yeah, there's technicals. There's technical, like there's beeps and that stuff. That was, for me, that was the easy part. You figure out. So on the third, here comes the third beep, go on the fourth, the silent fourth beep. You got it. It's not that difficult. It's not that. I think the far more difficult thing is relax, take the pressure off yourself. Now you can inhabit a character honestly, authentically, believably.
What's your next question, Aiden?
Alrighty, so out of all the projects you've worked on, because I looked and you saw a bit, what has been the most fun project to work on?
Most fun. I loved working on Cyberpunk 2077. I loved that character, Kurt Hansen. I loved that game. It's an RPG, based game. Those are my favorite kind of games. I grew up reading all choose your own adventure books. It's basically what that game is.
Yeah.
Say this, you're going to go that way. Say this, you're going to go that way. And but that character was just so much fun. I was already a fan of that genre, the franchise, the game developers, that specific game. And so when I landed that role, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. I knew it was going to be so much fun.
So you've played it.
Have I played it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't played it all the way through.
You got to see your character, right?
I got to the point where I could see my character. And I mean, that was the first time. The weirdest part was when my character, have you played it? Have you seen what it's like?
I've played the game a little bit. I haven't
okay. There's a lot of the time Kurt Hansen, who runs Dogtown, this area, he talks to everybody on a megaphone. So you're just walking around and you'll hear Kurt Hansen like, attention residents of Dogtown, this is Kurt Hansen. And that was weird. That was the first time where I was like, this is weird. It's very meta. Like, me talking to everybody. But that's just because I just started streaming recently. So that was where I was like, I gotta start streaming because I want to play that game and I want to have the experience with people, playing it. But it took me too long to figure out the stream thing. In between trying to manage a career in voiceover and set up I just was too much. But by the time Rivals hit, I was like, okay, it's enough screwing around. We gotta figure out the streaming thing now. And so I had a couple of friends really help me kind of get it off the ground. And there's still technical issues all the time as Exhibit A, the beginning of our session here. But it also makes me agile on my toes and be like, here's how, make it work best you can, So I guess they say you're not a streamer unless you've got tech issues. So I got that part covered.
I can feel that one. Well, my next question I want to ask you is, what do you find most challenging and rewarding about being a voice actor?
I think I think I kind of talked about the most challenging thing for me is the isolation part of it.
Okay, I can feel.
You know, I'm more of a people person, and I like engaging. I get energy by interfacing with people.
Yeah, because energy is kind of confessions.
Yeah, and I know that everybody's like, you know, I like engaging with my friends, but I don't want to be. I'm more of a people person, so it was a big adjustment for me, and it still is kind of. I got to get out and I got to see my friends. I got to touch some grass and breathe some air and see some sky and live, because as a voice actor, as an actor, your job is to emulate life.
True.
And if you're not living
emulate
life,
it, emulate it.
Exactly. So that's probably the hardest part. I mean, voiceover it's a hard. Being a performer, being an artist, it's hard. It's hard to get out there and forge your own way and make a living and gain a following, and it takes time. It just takes time
and dedication.
Yeah, to stick with it. And but I mean, I loved it enough that that was never the problem for me. I was gonna, through the thick and the thin, you know, this is what I got to tell myself now. There's gonna be highs, there's gonna be lows, and you just keep going. You just keep trying to tell stories and engage. And so it was more the isolation for me. But the biggest thing that I get out of it is I really get high at the mic telling a story, because I think stories are the fundamental weave of fabric that binds us together as humans. We all have stories. Stories have become a fundamental way for us to understand our own existence, and we do it collectively. We do it together. And you know, some people have their stories over here, and they've got their stories over here, but there's also stories that unite us all, and that's what I love. I love that. I love being, like, we're just talking about Marvel. You know, it's basically mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the gods, and here's their powers. Bad things happen to them, and they had to overcome that, and now they've got these superpowers, but this superpower has this weakness, and when these two come at each other, it just helps us understand who we are and what we're doing here and what's valuable and what we should avoid. It brings us together, and that's what I love about it.
I have to agree with you there. I think it's cool when you watch movies and then you realize they have such great stories and they're emulating a lot of real life into the story. Because I always tell people that first Pokemon movie, man, that's probably one of the most deepest movies I've ever seen, just from the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X standpoint. I mean, slavery and all. I'm like, all of this is just in one movie about Pokemon. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, it's really interesting the amount of things and storytelling aspects you can put into a story or a movie. And I like the fact that like anime is allowed to like utilize a lot of these different elements and different storylines into their stuff. Like they're not scared to touch certain elements that we haven't even seen movies portray yet. So I think
yeah, right. Yeah, good point. I hadn't really thought about that, but that's a good point. Yeah.
Hayden, what's your next question?
Alrighty, so has there ever been, also by the way, everything you want, I want some of your words like a quote book. There's sort of like amazing things from you. But has there ever been something you've ever been approached for and turned down, but ended up regretting later?
Anything that I was approached with, turned down, and then regretted that I turned
like somebody
down.
said, let's say, hey, I want you to play the main character in the Sea of Stars live action. And you're like, I don't think that's for me. But then later on down the road, you're like, you know what? I should have taken that role.
Or something you thought was small to end up being big.
That too.
Generally, my philosophy is,
if it come past you doing it, I feel
say yes.
Okay.
Say yes to it. Here's an opportunity that's come up, it's presented itself. You don't know where it's going to go. Who are you to cheat you out of the experience of whatever this will provide? Now, the only things, like the things that I wouldn't do, that I have and will pass on, is like if I get a role that is to replace another actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that has happened to me, and most of the time I'm like, it's not a great look unless I'm able to get a hold of that actor and go, hey, listen, this has come up, and I just want to know that you let that go, and that this is not stepping on your, and if they're like, yeah, yes, I'm moving to a different thing and it doesn't work, and go with God or whatever, that kind of thing, then it's cool. But I just feel like my big regrets will be the things that I didn't do than the things that I did. Because whatever I'm going to do now, I want to do it with my whole heart, and I'm going to try my best. And if I fail, well, then I've learned a little bit, and that's life. That's how it goes. That's most of what it is. Most of life, especially voice acting, is no, and you can't. It'll kill you if you equate the no's with failure, as opposed to it's just an opportunity to grow and learn and understand yourself and where you fit in and where you don't, and just trying to forge your own path. But there's never been a role where I've been like, oh man, I should have totally taken that role. More and more now, it is a question of time, energy, output. But I've got to kind of start really safeguarding where I put that, because I found a new level of fatigue that I had before. Where you're like, oh, I felt like the vessel is empty, the well is dry, and it's like I have to read and watch movies and listen to music and hang out with my friends, my people, and fill myself with creativity, and it's this cycle thing, and
I still have to work and all that. Yeah, I feel like I've been working on that myself, trying to keep my schedule balanced from with the podcast, family, work, and stuff like that, and still have energy throughout the days. Because sometimes I feel myself, I lay down after work and then I wake up and it's the next day, and I'm like, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, it's real.
Exhausted.
It's real, and it's just getting harder. It's getting harder. Things are getting more expensive, and it's like, to produce content, it just costs energy and time, and you'll never get back the time. That's gone unless we can get a time machine, and wouldn't that be cool? But it's but that's why I know if I say yes and we're gonna do this, okay, then let's make the best of it. Let's go, let's dive in, and not be like, I'm trying to control what this is supposed to be, and I have but that's what I try to go into any project or anything with that kind of attitude. And like I said, there's been plenty of failures, but that's just an opportunity to make good on something and learn.
It's best to look at your email and see opportunities, and look in there and there's none. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But my next question I want to ask you, one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on is to talk to you about Marvel Rising. Were you surprised that you were actually got the role for Winter Soldier, and what was the process of getting that role?
Yeah. So it was a long process. It's not usually that long. It's usually you get an audition from your agent, and then you read on it and you send it in, and like a week or two later, you'll hear back. I'm trying to remember with this one, because it's been years now. It's been.
Did you have to re-audition for it a few times, or?
No, I haven't had to do that. So I'm lucky in that way, because I know that is a thing. People got to win their roles back. One of my mentors is Porky Pig, the voice for Porky Pig.
Oh,
it has been for 20 years. Maybe longer. And he got an audition. It was like, look, we're looking for the next Porky Pig, and he's like, wait, I'm Porky Pig. So he had to take on a pseudonym, and he ended up being good enough to win it back. And I was like, oh my
So
god.
did they know he was auditioning for it?
Because he had a different pseudonym, right? And they called in the pseudonym name, and he walks in, and they're like, he's like, that's right, I'm whatever pseudonym, and they're like, oh, so he is Porky Pig. Yeah,
they probably listen to him. He's like, don't he sound like the old guy?
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah. So, but I know I haven't had to do that. So lucky in that regard. But it took time, man. It took time. Like I remember going. I don't even remember that I was auditioning for Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I finally when I went in for the first session, then I got to see. I was like, oh, cool. Oh, right on. I'm playing like a named character, like an identifiable character. Most of them are, a character in a game or anime or something like that, where you don't know who they are, what they do. They're
kind of throwaways.
Or even if you're playing a more of a character, a main character, like Kurt Hansen, we were just talking about in Cyberpunk. There's been no lore, no history of who this character is.
Yeah,
we're making him up right now. But right now, this is good, But Winter Soldier's like, oh, it's okay. Or I mean, even more so would be like Captain America or the Hulk or some, And the people that play these roles have done them for 20 years, like Bob Bergen for Porky Pig. So the fact that I got in on a relatively recent character, even though Bucky has been around since 1949, I think it was the first comic, 47, 49, something like. I mean, almost as long. He hasn't
really been on screen or anything.
No, not since 2015 when your favorite movie, Winter Soldier came out. Yeah. So,
I gotta think of what the main actor name is.
Sebastian Stan.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Have you met him or have you talked to him?
No, I have not met him. I mean, I would be so honored, and if I met him, I'd be like, "Man, I am your biggest fan." But it was funny because there's recently he's doing promos for Thunderbolts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because he gets on and he's like, "Hey, chat." First of all, he says chat. Like somebody's told him that he's got cue cards or he's got a teleprompter or something. Like, look, just say it. You might not understand what chat means, but it's a thing now. So just when you, instead of saying hey everybody, you're saying hey chat. Let me get him to say this. But you can kind of tell he's like, it's either 5 a.m. because he's jet lagged, or he's just been on like 2 months of all this promo junket packages thing. He's exhausted, and so he's like, but they got him to say the lines from the game, the armed and dangerous again. And somebody put together this really funny edit. I mean, there's lots of people that have put these together, I'm sure by now, but you can hear him saying, "Stay armed and dangerous, everybody." And then the game is, it's like a very, very different vocal take on things. So if I ever did get a chance to meet Seb, that's what they call him. I'm referring to him like I do know him, but I don't. Sebastian, Mr. Stan.
If you're him, you might as well pretend like you know him. You are him.
If I'm an iteration of him, but that's, I also recognize that there's multiple people playing him,
mm-hmm.
and it's not even that totalitizes who the character is. It's also the writers and the editors and game devs and people at coding. It takes an army of people to encode or incarnate this character, whether we see him on screen or in a video game or on a podcast, anything, right? Or a comic book. These illustrators are contributing to who the character of Bucky is. And more than that, I'll take it even one step further. I think that the community, the fans, the people also form and shape who the character is, and I think that that's how it should be. It should be like that. So I'll never take this position of I own the character Bucky. I am Bucky. It's like I got very lucky to be able to play a part of Bucky in the pie, in the Bucky pie. you know, but I also acknowledge that I'm just a percentage of that. I'm just a slice.
When you were crafting the voice for Bucky, did you try to craft it more based off the actor that plays him?
No.
Okay.
No. Because again, when I was auditioning, I don't even think I knew that it was for Bucky. I think that because they also got to keep a lot of hush hush on this. So a lot of auditions you get, it's got a code name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the real character. Lots of times they use the same copy for multiple characters. They're just looking for the voice print and what the actor brings to it.
Okay.
So it wasn't until I got in the session, they were like, okay, here's the character. I was like, oh, damn. Okay. So,
okay. So you were surprised until you literally got in
Yes.
the booth and they're like, oh, you're Winter Soldier. You for real? Like,
right.
like,
Right.
all right.
And that's how most of it is with voiceover, because they got to keep such a tight lid on it. So you don't know. You don't know until you get there and they're like, okay, here's what you're working on. And then you got to freak out a little bit really fast and then pull it all together and like focus in on the thing. So yeah, I didn't know.
Man. Because then it's that I feel like that makes it hard for you to prepare. You don't know like what you're going in for, but I guess that's
Right.
a lot of people say improv is a skill that you really gotta have in voice acting, because if not, you'll be left behind.
Exactly right. A huge part of the skill base for voice acting is bringing to life this line that you saw just now. Now in animation, they it's customary to kind of get the script ahead of time. You know what? To be fair, they also have done this with the Winter Soldier. They did send me the lines ahead of time, but that's very rare.
Okay.
It's very rare for video games to do that. But is
it like a few days in advance or a month in advance or?
No, yeah, a couple days.
Okay.
No more than a week.
Yeah, like these subject to change, so just so you don't pit them out or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's nice when they give you a chance to wrap your head around kind of what this is, and it does give you a better chance to prepare as a performer. But most voiceover is, here you go. So you're right. It's about improv.
Go ahead, Hayden.
Alrighty. So I'm going to take a guess because you seem grateful for all your roles, but that one might be a hard one to answer. Out of all your roles you've done over your time as voice acting, what is one that you wish was more popular than it was? Like, say you put a lot of work into it, then I was like, it did well. I wish it was a little bit better. And like, you seem grateful for all your roles. So I don't know if you have an answer to this one.
You mean my performance was better or the project was more successful?
Well, a project was more successful.
Yeah, there's this one that comes to mind immediately. It's called Carcerum. It's a podcast. I play a character named Iston. You can look it up right now. Carcerum is what it's called, and it was magnificently put together. And I love that character. I love that character, Iston. He had such an arc, and that was really the first character I think that I played that had. There's like 10 episodes or something like that. So there's quite an arc that can take place over that period of time. And that was the first time where I really got to just sink into a role and just fully live it out and flush it out. And I had a great time on that. And it's very well done. And it happened kind of during the it was in the middle of the pandemic. So recording was stranged and strained because the lockdown and the masks and all, like you had to so that kind of.
Were you recording at home or would you go into a studio?
We're going into a studio. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lots of times they were recording from home, but this one, especially because certain projects will make you come into the studio because they need a homogeneous sound. They also want to be able to control where the data is. Like they don't want anybody leaking stuff. But everybody needs to sound like they belong in the same universe. And if you got this person over here in a closet with this microphone and that person in like a wide open room with a different kind of shotgun microphone, it's a very different sound. And then you got to have an engineer
that can put it all together. Like you got
all this stuff. Have everybody come in. Yeah. So They had us all come in, but man, it's a great story. It's like Princess Bride, meets I don't know. It's more fantasy, but it's like Princess Bride meets well, I don't actually want to say the next movie because it'll give away kind of what happens in the story. So I'll leave it at that for anybody who ends up endeavoring in Car Serum. But it's great. It's a great podcast. You put it on when you're driving, doing the dishes, taking a shower, whatever. It's fun. It's great, and the acting is really great in it.
I gotta check those out. I see a lot of voice actors do like audio podcasts and stuff like that. So I want to check out and see what that is, because I've never really listened to a podcast like that. So is that basically like a story being told within the whole podcast? Like you're just hearing episodes of like these characters speaking and stuff like that? Kind of like a book?
Yes. It's or it's more like do you remember old radio plays?
It's an audio drama.
Audio dramas. Thank you, Hayden. It's like that, where there's sound effects and but they do a great job creating the spatial, like you can hear somebody over here and there's action over here and they move over here and the sound effects. They did a really great job with it. It's really well done.
I'm about to check that out. I've seen so many people done them, but I've never actually took the chance to check out and see. So I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, he has one of my lists. I listen to a lot of them, so I want to add into mine. I'll be like, hey, I know that guy.
Nice.
Well, my next question was there ever a moment in your voice acting career that really humbled you?
Oh yeah. There's been plenty of them. There's no shortage of them. My career is full of those. Being constantly humbled. I'm trying to come up with one that would be most poignant, but there's no shortage of them. There's no shortage. I think what's one that would be good to tell? I think okay, there was this early on in my career, I was a reader. And a reader is it's somebody who does just that. They read. And then it's for an audition process. And everybody comes in. And you read for them so they can act off of you. And it was considered a good way to kind of cut your teeth and get into the industry and understand what it's like and what the audition process is like. And I was the voice of God, and so I had to read like it was like a Comcast commercial, and the voice of God would come in like this, and then you'd be like, "Hey, it's just me. I'm like regular Joe, and I'm just trying to get some internet," like that kind of stuff. I was humbled on so many levels. First of all, it was like 8 hours, and I was like, I'm like, oh my God, this is tiring. Like I'm having a hard time sustaining this, but I'm also trying to, everybody that comes in, try to give them the same gusto that I gave everyone else, so everyone's got an equal shot, because that's what I would want.
Yeah.
But I also would do things like, and then go into the line, and the engineer would be like, from the booth or the studio side, like, can you stop taking those breaths? I just end up having to cut them out, and it's just a lot of extra work for me. And being like, okay, I need to modulate my performance to accommodate the tech side.
That's how I get into character.
It's like, it's not all about you. There's a lot of people doing things, and you may have been a little lazy. Like, all I got to do is tell the voice actor this once, and that's it. Like he'd been doing it for 50 years or whatever. So just told me once, and that was it. But then I got a chance to see. Got a chance to see amazing talent come in, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and all bringing their own thing to the role. And then at the end of the day, it's going to one person.
True.
That's what it is. That's the gig. That's the game. Everybody was great. Everybody was amazing. But there's one spot. It says one role. So I was like, this is it. You could be great. You could be on your best game and
still don't get it.
Yeah, and you still don't get it. And that's just how it is.
And you gotta be able to take that and that grain of salt and move on to the next project like that didn't happen. Because you can't be thinking about your failures on your next project because you got to keep going, man.
Right. Exactly right. And so to answer your question, it gave me humility to know, don't do your best. The things that you can control, do your best at them. But don't be that actor who's like, oh, it's all about me, and like the divas, like, oh, it was brilliant. How could you not take me? It's like, it's just the business. It's the business. And if that shit's gonna eat you up, this is gonna grind you up. You're not. So it just put this blanket of like, do your best. Do your best at this. Give it your best shot, and then forget it and move on to the next thing, and just keep on moving. Just keep getting better. Keep doing. Don't look back like, you know what, I really should have gotten that. That's complete crap that I didn't. And you can't have that attitude. You can't have it.
It's entirely fair. That'd be just degrading every single time. So it's like more and more. I have a buddy who's trying to do voice acting, and that's one of his things. Is he's trying to figure out how to go about it because there's a few roles he's landed, he's excited for, but then he's always like, man, I could have done this. It's a I could have done and should have done, and then just after the fact thought. Always seems to suck.
I mean, that's the whole 2020 thing, you know. But that's where you go, because the job is not to just audition. The job is to learn how to book. So you don't get it and go, okay. Well, how did it go? What can I recover from my performance in that moment? And if I were to be able to do it again, what would I change? Why? And could I keep all the stuff I want and just change the stuff and you start learning how to open up the hood and just kind of tinker with what you want to and get more precise and better at doing that. But that is exactly the process. Oh man, I wish I could have done this. Okay, we'll do it on the next one. But don't be like, oh, it's just the system's against me. You have to constantly be this, I wonder how I can get better at this. Instead of this is really a pain in my ass. You know, it's a perspective. And one of them is just going to grind you out because you got to love it. You got to love it. You got to love doing this. You got to get high at the mic. It's got to be fun. Or eventually just go, oh man, you know what? It doesn't bring me joy. And that's going to come through every time. I mean, they say the microphone can hear you blink, you know? So if you're like secretly like, is this a family show? Is there no cussing allowed on this?
No. If it come natural, say whatever. Man.
All right. So if you're sitting here and you're like, fuck this audition. That's what's coming through. 100%. You know, it's whatever your intention is and what you're really thinking, that's coming through. So if you can't get yourself into like a positive place and be like, okay. But then you realize even the top bookers are getting 90% no's. Most of it's no. Most of it's no. And if you're in that raft, you know, not just like it's no. You're just not. It's no. Love it. Love the no's. Snowing with no. It's just, it feels cold, but actually when you get covered by it, it's a warm place to be. And you just learn to embrace the no or the void, because usually you don't hear anything back. There's nobody going, you know what? No. You just hear nothing. And that nothing is crippling to a lot of people. He's throwing your frisbees out. Here's my thing. Here's my best work.
So I got a question for you on that. Do you prefer to get that message saying you didn't get it, or would you just rather not get anything?
If I could have my druthers, I would want somebody to go, we had to pass on you, and here's why.
Okay.
Because then I'd be like, Okay.
So you feel like you get something you can fix.
Okay. Now I got something a little more concrete, because when you get nothing, that's when people get lost. They're like, "Oh, was this good or was it bad?" And then you go down, and then you spin, and because you just have no idea. So I mean, that's why you do need training, because you need people to go, that works. This is a habit you want to get out of, that sort of thing. It's like if you're learning martial arts or something, or whatever, any skill, you need somebody to go, yes, do it this way, or no, we don't do it like that because. So if you're just trying to get into it and you're like, I have no idea, and you're reading stuff and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, then you go, okay, I need to take some classes. You need to be like, okay, I have an idea of what I want to do. Now is what I have in my head, what I'm hearing back from what I just laid down. And you begin to divide those, to bridge the divides.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're winding down to our last 4 questions, 2 for me and then 2 for Hayden. I'm gonna go ahead and let Hayden do the next one real quick.
Alrighty, so I saw I did research into you, figure out a lot of things you've done. You've done a lot of gaming gigs here and there. So out of all the games you've done, which is the project you're the most proud to be a part of? Not like the one you would have most fun with, but come the end of it, it's like, you know what? I'm part of that. I'm proud. I'm a part of that crew.
Well, I've mentioned it already, the Kurt Hansen for Cyberpunk, because my favorite genre is Cyberpunk. Blade Runner is my #1 movie of all time. Both first and the second. I grew up on them. I love them. And then to merge them with video games. So that one is the top of the heap for me. When I got that, I just was over the moon. I'm obviously so proud to be part of Marvel Rivals, because the Marvel universe has been so influential in my life, and to see it resurgence and connect with so many people now it does me proud. It makes me feel good. But like I got to do some stuff in Spider-Man 2. Hayden, I know you were talking about you like playing that. Or let me know like the movie, but like the video game was also a great homage to the movie, like being able to be Spider-Man and fly, push your way through and fight the villains. And I got to do, I was street criminal in that. I was a street criminal. And so, it's Spidey, get him! Like that, a lot of that kind of stuff. Really vocally heavy work, like very difficult work. But learning how to communicate. I'm getting hit in the stomach versus the head, or I'm punching the head instead of the stomach. Or,
oh yeah, those make different sound effects.
Yeah, just with your voice, right? Just with your voice. And then I got to do a bunch of stuff for Call of Duty, and as I was telling you at the beginning, we've played a lot of that, my brothers and I. And so, getting to do that was also a real highlight. That was fun.
Pretty dope. Do you think there's any misconceptions about voice acting?
Misconceptions?
Yeah, like people thinking it's easier than what it is, or
oh well, for sure that. Yeah, nobody has the foggiest until you
step into that booth.
Yeah, I mean, I just was we were talking about this earlier, but I had lunch with somebody who is a dear friend now. They actually were my first agent, and they were the ones that brought me on. So they effectively kind of gave me my start, and now they're a producer.
Oh, okay. So they've been moving up.
They've done very well for themselves, and they're just a wonderful person. We got a chance to catch up, and they said, I recently kind of had a chance to kind of go in and just lay down some scratch. Scratch is what they call it. It's just putting down words on the page into a microphone so that editors and animators can start building. They have something to build onto. Mm-hmm. And they were like, this is really hard. This is way harder than I thought it was. And they work in the industry. They are immersed in it. And still it was more difficult. So it's no secret that the average person who doesn't really even know what the acting process, the interior world building, let alone the technical things you kind of have to adopt in order to just communicate the character in such a way that it fits like a gear into the overall story is actually rather difficult. And some people grasp it faster than others. I'm a slow study. I've always been a slow study. Maybe it's because I got a thick skull or I don't know what, but it takes me longer to get it. It always has.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, so it's taken a while. And still I'm like, I'll talk to friends and how did you approach this, and go, oh, that was great. Oh wow, I never thought about that. And we have little workout groups and we help each other get better. That's what it is, you know. So that's definitely a misconception of, oh, it's just voice acting. It turns out it is a lot harder because all you have is your voice.
Yeah,
that's all you got. And but that's also the reason I love it.
Okay. What's your last question, Hayden?
Alrighty, so this one's one of my favorite ones to ask. I always try and keep it. Is if you had the rights, everything, no worry about money, everything there, what is one single passion project you would do? Whether it's a game you would make, a movie. Like if I had mine, I'd remake Parasite Eve and make it the same level of like the Final Fantasy VII remakes. So if you had if I had something to that degree. So what would you do if you had no limits for a passion project?
Wow. If I had no limits, we could do whatever. We had the budget, we had the technical.
You gotta do Winter Soldier versus Punisher.
It's funny because my brother's one of my brother's favorite characters, Frank Castle, and he grew up reading the War Punisher, the Punisher war journals, and so that's his character. So it is funny because it's like, you know, when we play, he's got to be Punisher, and so it could completely be us. But no, it would have to be. Well, I'd want it to be performance capture. So it would be. We'd have the the head-mounted camera units and the lycra suits, the balls, yeah, and I would want to like recreate some cyberpunk thing. Like if we could recreate Cyberpunk 2077, and I could actually be Kurt Hansen and
you want to make it a live action?
And maybe then you could even translate that into like a live action, because that's where the technology is now. I think that's the future. Wow, that would be amazing. Yet you got it, Raysean. I would want to do that. Make Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty into a live action, and I get to play Kurt Hansen via performance capture. That's what it would be.
That'd be cool.
Man, if you can cast one of the characters with any actor, who would you put in it?
Well, it already has Idris Elba, who's such a legend. I look up to him so much. Keanu Reeves, same thing.
Yeah, you already got legends there. Like, ugh.
Yeah, it's already star-studded, but there's tons of characters. It's a whole world. It's way bigger than a movie. It's way bigger, way more. So you'd have to find a way to pare it down, you know. But some of my friends play some of the key parts, like my friend Minji plays Somi or Songbird. She would be great to just play that. She could completely kill that role. Live action, 100%, 1,000,000%. She could do it.
Okay.
And Yvonne plays a character, my friend Yvonne. She, I can't remember the name of her character off the top of my head. She could kill that role. Kay Bess plays the president of the NUSA. I'm also blanking on that character's name. But they're pretty much the cast that they've got in there right now could do an excellent job. And yeah, that would be a hell of a passion project.
For sure. I hope that can come into
Myers,
play.
President Myers. That's what her name is.
And for our last question, I want to ask you is: do you have any advice for any aspiring voice actors trying to break into the industry? And I know everybody's routing to get into the industry is different. Nobody can basically tell you how they got in is the same way you can get in. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's the thing about voiceover. It's there's no one path. There isn't. It's the wild, wild west. And but that's also an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this one path you have to get into. So I think probably my big first piece of advice is, you want to do voice acting, do it. Don't wait for anybody to give you a project. Don't wait to get cast in something. Do it. Read a book, tape, get some comics. One of the things that was told to me when I was learning, that's because YouTube had become a thing by then. This would be like 2015, so YouTube was fully there. They'd be like, if you want to get into anime or video games, pull up your favorite scene, write it out, script it out, either edit in or edit out your lines, or just pause it. Just pause.
Or what? Mute it and then try to say your voice.
Yeah, and record it. Do it. You want to do it? Do it. Don't wait for somebody to give
you permission.
Yeah, do it. Because the thing, I feel like the theme of our whole discussion here has been, this is weird. It's weird, but it's extremely gratifying when you can finally connect with a character that connects with people. Oh, it's so fulfilling. But to get to that point, you've got to be willing to eat a bunch of shit. It's as simple as that. And everyone is going to eat a bunch of shit. The best people in the business are just going to eat shit. Nobody's getting out of this without eating shit. So just learn to be cool with that. And then continue doing what it is you think you want to do. And there's all different kinds. There's commercial, there's corporate narration, there's on books for tape, there's radio imaging, there's promo, there's animation, there's interactive. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to do anime? Focus on one thing. Don't try to master them all and be a joker of all trades, a master of none. Find what do you want to do? Well, you love anime? I hope you watch a lot of anime. I hope you read manga. Pull up your favorite thing. Read it. And don't just do a voice. Look, I could do Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. They already got that. Who are you? What are you going to bring to this? You need to be you. You can't try to be somebody else and get it. That's already taken.
True.
Be yourself.
Yeah, I always say some of the best voice actors are the ones that can play different roles, but they're using their natural voice, and you can hardly ever tell that. And that's mainly for the voice actor for Sasuke and Batman. I think Yuri Youngthal. Man, every time
right.
Oh, did I get it? Okay, most of the time I always get it wrong, but you say it enough, you eventually gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always find those to be amazing. Those people that you be like, oh my God, that's their voice. Like, that's how they actually sound. Like when you actually get to talk to them or see them talk. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Hayden, is there any more questions you have before we wrap up? Or
nah, I'm good. Thank you, sir. That's been really enlightening.
All right, I do have one last question before we go. I wanted to ask, is there anybody you want to shout out that has been a good support system for you over the years that's helped you get to where you are?
Yeah, I'll shout out my friend and mentor, Bill Holmes, aka the voiceover doctor. He was the one that I started studying with at the very beginning. He was the one who was able to coach me into a natural read. He's the one who I credit with giving me my start, giving me a foothold, something viable and real to step on and continue to work my way out of this head case, tight, restricted perfectionist type of approach I had developed till that point. And he's been instrumental for that. And so I'll never be able to thank or shout out enough the voiceover doctor, aka Bill Holmes.
Shout out voiceover doctor. I like that name, low-key. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Anybody else, or is that it?
Oh man, I mean, I've got a long list of people that I could go down and say these people help me. You know,
Okay.
But that's the next episode.
Okay. But before we wrap up, is there any questions you want to ask me or Hayden, or is there any other thing you want to discuss before we wrap up?
I just, I told you guys that I like just saying yes to things and seeing where it goes, and you guys have been awesome. Thanks for having me on your show. I love nerding out over stuff. I feel like you talk to somebody long enough, you're going to find something you've got in common with them. And
Sure.
I know that this is later for you because I think you're East Coast. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you, accommodating my schedule and hanging with me while we iron out the technical issues. But you guys have been a pleasure and an honor and a lot of fun to talk to. So thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, for sure. It was amazing having you.
It sure was.
And with that, we end today's episode. I want to thank my guests for coming on and chatting it up with me. I had a lot of fun and learned so much more about the industry of voice acting, and hopefully you listeners did too. Before we close out, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to plug himself, basically tell the audience where they can find you.
Right on. Yep. All my socials are my name, Eliah MountJoy.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
it's easy. It makes it easy. I mean, I got a weird name already to start with, so I got to make it easy where I can. But I started streaming recently, and so I like I said, I love engaging with people and hanging out, and the stream is just good vibes. Right now we're playing Marvel Rivals. We'll eventually get on to other games, but anybody that wants to hop in, my Twitch is actually Eliah_MountJoy. But it's on all of my socials. So if anybody wants to pop in, let me know that you found me through the guys, and anybody's welcome. Good vibes only.
I'll see you there.
For sure,
Right
for sure.
on. Right
Hayden, you want to go ahead and plug yourself before we wrap up?
I can. You can find me on, it's the easiest way to find my whole YouTube thing is look me up on TikTok and all around gaming. I post a lot of gaming stuff. My setup's now more or less perfect here. I got enough nerd stuff to keep you entertained for days. My YouTube's full of all sorts of stupid games. I'm playing Disney Universe, Halo Reach, and soon to be Expedition 33 on there. Come find me. I'm fun. I piss people off with horrible game opinions.
And if you guys want to reach out to any of them below, I'll have all their links and stuff posted. And with that, I just want to say, peace.